Yo, what's up everybody? WoW patch 11.2 has just released, and I'm sure you want to get straight back in there and play all the new stuff, grind the new rep. So I'm going to keep this as short as possible and give you 5 tips to get you more rep, more rewards, and have a much smoother time in the new patch. If you like this video and learned something new, do consider subscribing to the channel, but let's get straight into it. Okay, first up, the new reputation, the Koresh Trust. In here, there are new weekly features that unlock as you level this up. There are, mounts and gear, lots of cool stuff, and things that are going to be really good if you unlock it, as early as possible. And there is one way to unlock it much faster. So if you go into the auction house and you search for contract, and then you type in, Koresh K-A, you can see these new contracts. And the way these work are, if you can see here, sign a contract with the Koresh Trust that allows you to gain reputation with them every time you complete a world quest in Kaz-Algar until next week. So this is like a weekly buff. Whenever you do a world quest, anywhere you go, you will gain rep with, the new faction, which is a massive buff when, we're still in like pre-season where there isn't that many ways to gain reputation. And you can see you've got like the bronze, the silver, and the gold. One gives 5 rep, one gives 10, and the gold gives 15. So, I mean, it's kind of pricey, but that's because it's just come out, and these are obviously going to go down. That means someone's had to get to rank 5 in the new rep to be able to craft these, I think. So, yeah, these are going to be really good. You just buy one, use it on your character, and you'll just have the buff for a long time. I'll do it now just to show you. If we just buy one, and then we just grab it, and then we use it, you can see now we have this 7-day buff, gain 15 reputation with the new Koresh every time you complete a world quest in Kaz-Algar. So that's going to really help you level up your rep from day one. Okay, now for a tip that's not going to kick in until next week, but it's good to know it's here, is the portal room. So there is a portal room in Tazavesh. So if you look, the Tazavesh is in like the bottom section of the map, and then in the very top of that area, this section at the very top, it's 4721. There is this portal room, and it looks kind of pointless because it's just the one thing here. However, if you talk to Bakel, this guy here, it says our portal network provides convenient access to all current bountiful delves in Kaz-Algar, Undermine, and Koresh. So when it comes to doing your bountiful delves, you don't have to fly all over the world, go to Undermine and fly around and go down into like the Ringing Deeps. None of that. You just, if they're active, they'll be in here, and you just jump through the portal. Assuming it works the same as it did on the PTR, it's going to be very, very fast. So yeah, get used to coming here. Okay, now for a tip on phase walking. So to unlock phase walking, you just, you work through the campaign, and then you go to this section down here, and there'll be a quest that's called It's Not a Phase. It's like a purple triangle, which means it's a priority quest, so you can't miss it. Go down there, and you will unlock the ability to phase walk. And it's not always clear how to use it. So let me show you. If you go into the phase, it's basically a void version of the map, and you can open the map, and you can go anywhere on this map as a phase. Now, to get around, all you have to do is click this little thing here, and you can teleport to any other phase beacon. You can just jump around as much as you want, which is really useful, and you don't really have to fly that much in this zone. You can just jump between these phase beacons. Like you want to go back to Tazavesh, there's a portal there. You want to go to the top of the map, you can jump around. So that's one way to get around really, really quick. But another thing is that the rares are tied to the phase, to the untethered space, or not, to like the living world or the phase. So you have to like be in the right place to find the rares. And the rares give reputation. Some of them drop mounts. There are some rares that drop mounts. It's worth doing these. So if you open your map, you want to be able to look and see where they are, but some will only show if you are in this phase world. That's really important to know. If you have add-ons like Rare Scanner, you can hover over them. For example, this one here, it says in order to spawn this NPC, you have to complete an event. Cool. This one down here, only visible at the untethered space. So use a phase conduit to enter, which means you have to go into the void to find him. Similar down here, more of the sands, only visible in the untethered space. I'll show here, look, you have to literally go into the phase to fight some of these. Here's more of the sands up in the phase, and you wouldn't see him if you weren't there. So that's something to definitely be aware of, to make sure you're jumping between the two, or using an add-on that tracks when these spawn, so you can get there, and using the portals to teleport around will make sure you get there on time. But then just make sure you're either in the non-void or the void space. Okay, next up, not so much a tip about the new zone, but about what has stayed and what has gone in the new patch that is really going to help you out. So firstly, this little cluster of quests here in Dornogal, this is still here and is really, really good. So if you come over to Beergoth over here, they will have this weekly quest, go do a random dungeon. It's Rookery this week. And now you can get Koresh Trust rep. So 1,500 rep is a lot, especially in the first week. This is going to be huge. So definitely go and do that dungeon. You have a quest here where you can speak to Berin, and this quest is to go and do a choice of things. You can either go and do quests or go and do something else. So you can do that very easily. This was just to do world quests in Koresh, and you get a pinnacle cache, which is pretty good. And if we open that, this has a restored copper key, a bunch of rep, and you get a ton of reputation here with all the different factions, a 668 veteran item, which is really nice. So yeah, definitely make sure you're doing these because they tie into the new zone content, so it's worth doing them. In terms of delves, the belt that was like crazy strong last season, the disc belt, I've got it as 701, which is a massive eye level compared to the rest of the gear we have, is still available, I believe. Instead of being in overcharged delves, which is what we had in the last season, we now, if you come over to the Titan console, you can just get this from normal delves now. So you should just be able to run normal delves, pick up the quest, and use the Titan console, and still be able to upgrade it like normal. So that's really good. Another thing that is still with us is Horrific Visions. So if you completely missed out on Horrific Visions, if you weren't subbing, you just came back for season 3, these still exist. Tons of mounts. I've got a few guides on my channel. There are tons of mounts from this, and you can still grind out these really cool ones here, like the backpack. You've got the Swarmer, and there's loads of really cool stuff in here. There's pets, there's loads of stuff. So this is still really, really good and really useful if you still want to do some other stuff, especially in this preseason while we're just kind of waiting for all the new content. But yeah, that's pretty much everything that is still hanging around. Okay, now for a quick tip on Mythic Zeros and how the loot lockouts work and how you can gear up really fast in the first preseason, in the week before Mythic Plus drops. So the way Mythic Plus works is you can run those indefinitely. You can run +2s, +3s, +4 on repeat every single day and get loot every single run if you're lucky and constantly be gearing up. However, Mythic Zeros, if you go into the adventure guide and we go into dungeons, Mythic Zeros, you can only get loot once a week, so per character. So if you wanted to gear up this week, you would want to run every single one of these on Mythic Zero. So say if we take the new Echo Dome Aldani, you can see here, this drops 681 gear, which is fantastic. It's a massive boost. It's going to really set you up well for next week. So one thing I would recommend if you are wanting to gear up is to go and run each of these dungeons on Mythic Zero once per character to have a chance at this really good loot. Now, additionally, after you've done that, if you still want to give yourself a better chance, you can run 2 additional ones. Now, you won't get loot for the 2 additional ones because you'll already be locked out from them. However, if you go into your vault, you can see the Great Vault here. You will have this here: complete heroic, mythical, time walking dungeons. And the third chest, the third option will be to run 8. So running 6 will get you a good chance at loot, and it will unlock 2 vaults. If you run 2 extras, you have a 3rd chance at your vault. So just a tip for gearing this week if you want to have the best chance possible from your Mythic Zeros. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't want to waste any more time or ramble on. This was just some big tips coming into season 3, 11.2. Hopefully you find useful. If you learn anything new, do consider subscribing to the channel. This is a relatively new channel I've made purely to talk about World of Warcraft and share tips and builds, things like that. So yeah, if you like the style of content, if you want to come back for more, do consider subscribing. But thank you, take care, enjoy the patch, and I'll catch you for the next one.